Hi, it's Dr. Laura Grace, and I'm glad to be back with you. I have been gone and haven't had a video created that I've made anyway since August. So I'm really happy to be back here with you today. I've been traveling and diving deeply into the realm of archetypes and shadow. And this is all part of dream work. If you're interested in understanding your dreams, then it is really crucial that you get the concept of archetypes. And we're going to talk, this is going to actually be a 2 or 3-parter. We're going to talk today about the anima and the animus archetypes. And in Latin, these words mean soul. So when we're talking about dreams, we're always talking about the language, the message is being conveyed from the soul right into your waking life. So dreams bridge the unconscious realm, bring them into consciousness. And it's always the soul that we're connecting with through the images and the dream characters and the landscapes and the feelings, all these very essential part of dreams. But the journey of the anima and the animus is perhaps, and I'm not saying this lightly, I really believe it's one of the most important journeys we can take as human beings. And I'm going to break it down as to why. The anima is the feminine aspect of the male. And again, this has nothing to do with sexual preference or anything like that. If you identify as a gay male or a gay female, what I'm talking about today applies to you as well. But if you are identified as a man and you have dreams where women show up in different shape, ways, different forms, different characters, that is often your anima coming through dream time. So with the feminine, what we're talking about are the qualities of listening, deep listening, and sensitivity, and nurturing, and caring, and those kinds of qualities. You know, what we think about the feminine, it's the qualities that the feminine embodies. With the masculine, with the animus, what we're talking about is when a woman is dreaming about men, different men that she may know. They could be exes, they could be friends, they could be her current partner, they could be strange men. We're talking about the animus. So we're talking about the qualities of the masculine. The masculine is all about execution, right? In terms of doing and taking action. I mean, through the feminine, you might have the ideas and the insights come through, but it's the masculine that takes the steps and the necessary action to put things into action, right? And to actually make things happen. So with the masculine, we're talking about willpower. We're talking about both physical and inner strength, discipline. We're talking about everything that you might think of when you're wondering about what the masculine really embodies. So those qualities of passion, this is coming through the masculine. So ideally, in you and me, we have both aspects, which we do, but ideally they are both strong, they're both present, they're both developed. Let's put it that way. When we're talking about, if you're a male and you dream about women, we're talking about you integrating the anima, and that is your soul. So in a fully activated, a fully realized, people who are on the pathway of individuation, what we're moving toward is that experience of wholeness and completion, right? That's why we do this work. That's why we work with dreams. We're trying to go deeper and understand what the dreams are telling us. And the dreams around the anima and animus archetypes have incredible power and meaning to them. That's why I'm going to do at least a 2-part, maybe a 3-part series on them. And I also talk about in my book, Dreams, Soul-Centered Living in the 21st Century, which is available on Amazon. So when we're talking about you as a whole, complete person, the reason why this journey of the archetype is so important is because often we don't realize, like as a woman for years, I didn't realize that my animus, my masculine aspect, was not fully developed, and I'm still in process. You know, this is a lifelong journey. This isn't like we graduate at one point, we get to the top of the mountain and yay, we're all done. I mean, it doesn't work that way, but we're definitely spiraling up that mountain and getting more and more aware and more conscious of what's going on inside of us. When we're tending to dreams, we're tending to the inner realms, right? if you're not tending to the inner realms, or you know people who are not doing this kind of inner work, then sometimes what you'll see is an undeveloped anima or animus. What this would look like. So if you're a female dreamer, dreaming of men, what an undeveloped animus might look like in you is a woman who has a really hard time maybe speaking up. She's not able to really speak her truth. You might have a hard time, if your animus isn't developed, taking action and following through. You might have lots of great ideas, but then executing them might be very challenging for you. You'll be attracted to men. This is why archetypes are so important, especially the anima and animus, because it tells you why you are attracted to the people that you're attracted to and why you attract them into your life as well. We're kind of feeding off each other's archetypes unconsciously. That's why certain people are showing up in your life, and that's why you're gravitating towards certain people. So as a woman, if your animus, let's get back to that, isn't fully developed, then there's a lack of inner strength that you might possess. And you might be attracted to men who are overly developed with their masculine, which means they're not as in touch with their feeling function, with their anima, with their soul, with their feminine aspect. And you often see, I know I'm going back to a relationship that I had for several years, many years ago, and that's what was playing out. The man I was attracted to in relationship with had an overdeveloped masculine side. He had that down pat, very strong, physically active, lots of willpower, lots of discipline, but very disconnected from his heart and from his feeling function. So as the woman in the relationship, and maybe you can relate to this, I overcompensated by taking on and feeling all the feelings and the emotions for both of us. And then, of course, that didn't go over real well with him because he didn't like feelings and emotions. He wanted things just to be that emotional, keep it really calm, cool. Don't ever get angry. Don't ever really get upset. Don't really get sad or cry. Can you relate to what I'm saying? So with a woman who has a developed animus, she's working on it or has been for some time, she's more in touch with her wholeness and completion. She can have the feminine qualities of being compassionate and sensitive and caring and nurturing and have lots of insight and follow her intuition. And she also has the ability to make things happen, to get things done, right? To speak up, to stay in alignment with her values and her truth and not to compromise. She wouldn't be attracted to a overly masculine man or woman if she's a lesbian. That just wouldn't really appeal to her, wouldn't turn her on. Does this make sense? Now, if you're a man, if you're a male dreamer dreaming about women and you have an underdeveloped anima, and some of my male clients, this is exactly what we're working on right now. Because I do therapy and counseling, not just about dream work, but about relationships and spiritual growth and all of that. But I usually bring dreams into the mix if that client has good dream recall. Not everybody does. But if they do, like, for example, with some of my male clients, they're working on their anima. And what they're developing is their feminine side. So, for example, I'm thinking about some of the dreams that have come up. When a man has not been in touch with his feeling function, not been developing his soul, right? Not connected to it, maybe really stuck in his intellect or maybe in his physical body or both, but not in the feeling function, then he may be attracted to women who are shut down emotionally or overly sensitive and empathic, or women who aren't really available to him in specific ways, or, you know, just the relationships in general may not be all that healthy. So when a man is working on his anima, especially using dreams to show him exactly where his anima is at, that's what the dreams do for you. They show you exactly where you're at with your anima or animus. I can't think of any better way to get understanding about what is going on with you with this archetype than working with your dreams. If we were in session together and you were telling me about where you're at with your anima or animus development, you know, it might give me a little bit of insight and help you get out on the table maybe some of the things you want to work on. But it's the dreams that will just bam, the dream character shows up. It's showing you the development or lack thereof of the anima or the animus. Does this make sense? So this is such an exciting journey. I love Marion Woodman's work. I have for a long, long time. She's passed now. She was a Jungian analyst and an amazing, actually an activist in her own right, and just an amazing writer and speaker, and just really focused on the soul. She was a woman not afraid to delve into the depths of her soul and help other people go there also, which is why I've always been a big fan of hers. And she did a lot of dream work throughout her lifetime, and most of her books point to dreams somewhere along the way. And she always said that the growth of the anima and the animus, when we're doing this kind of work, leads to the divine marriage. Isn't that beautiful? The divine marriage. I'm actually getting chills just talking about this. I've been doing work with my animus for so long through dream time. I mean, for decades. And it really has helped me in my relationships, maybe more than any other work that I've done. You know, I mean, the practice of forgiveness and dealing with my emotional reactions and all that is very important, but it's the journey of the animus for a woman and the journey of the anima if you're a man, or you are majoring in being a male this lifetime, that really will help you come into wholeness. Because once you begin to achieve that union, once your masculine and feminine sides are coming together and integrating in a deep and whole, W-H-O-L-E, complete way, and you start to experience and taste what it's like to have that unity, that divine marriage, you will be attracted to very different people than you were in the past. You won't be looking for someone to make you complete or whole. You won't need that. You won't even be looking for another relationship, I mean, another person in relationship to make you happy or even to be a companion so much. What you'll be interested in is joining with another person with the understanding that that relationship in your waking life is about supporting each other's soul growth. And that's it. We're not looking to get anything. We're not looking to try to get ourselves to feel more complete through this person, to help us to have, you know, babies or families or money. It's not about any of that. When we go that route, that will not lead to a fulfilling relationship. Believe you me, it will not. Been there, done that, doesn't work. The only way to have a long-term, committed, intimate, fulfilling relationship, and it's going to have its stuff because you're supporting each other's soul growth. In the growth of the soul work is damn messy. It's getting into the muck of things. It's pulling up shadow stuff. It's it's just going to deeper levels than even spiritual focused work will do. And I'm an interfaith spiritual director, so I really love both paths of the spirit and soul, but the soul work is very different than that of the spirit. So what I want you to do, this is part one, I want you to pay attention to your dreams. And I want you to start writing down, if you're a woman, what kind of men are showing up in your dreams? Who are they? This is your animus. And what do they represent? Especially if it's a male figure that appears. He's starring in your dreams in a regular basis or on a regular basis. You know, some of you have shared with me that I've worked with or heard from, you know, behind the scenes. I know it's not comfortable writing comments on my video channel because we're talking about dreams and they're so personal. So usually I hear from you behind the scenes, you know, it comes through my email. And I do know that some of you have been doing this kind of work and you're usually very curious, understandably, about your dream characters. And for some of you who are women, you've asked questions like, why does my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend, my ex-what keep showing up in dreams? That's your animus. And often for a man, it may be an ex-partner, it could be, you know, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, or it could be a woman that you're not familiar with, but that's your anima. And they're showing up. It has nothing to do with how they're showing up as that person so much It's about what they're representing to you. That all depends on your perception of that dream character, which we'll get more into in the next video. But just start paying attention. So if you're a woman and you've been having dreams of men showing up that are bullying you, the animus can be quite mean at times, especially in this culture that is based on patriarchy and control and misogyny, and I've had to work through that for years. I had a father who was very much a tyrant. You know, I love him very much, and he had a big heart, but he was also a tyrant. So for years I had the male showing up in dream time of just, you know, pushing me harder. You know, I couldn't do it enough, making me feel like I'm not accomplishing enough, you know, even though I'm extremely motivated and have been very driven this lifetime to produce and things that are helpful and meaningful. But I had to really work with that animus and get it into place and into a position to where it didn't control me anymore. It didn't have that kind of power over me. I was able to make friends with it, come to peace with it. And so that helped me immensely within my relationship with my husband. That's how it works. You do the inner work, and then the outer realms, the relationships start to mirror back, reflect back those inner shifts. That's just the way it works. And if you're a man and your anima is showing up and she's really critical, or she's really cold and shut down, and maybe she doesn't say much, but you know, with a lot of people, it's not what we say, it's what's not being said. Some of the people that I know that carry the most unresolved anger and judgment are very quiet people, but their silence and their resentment, you could feel it. It speaks volumes. They don't have to say anything. You get it just by their facial expression, just by that look in their eyes, right? So if you're a man and you have anima showing up that way, women showing up that are really critical or overbearing or shut down or really passive, you can't get, you know, can't connect with them at all. This is the inner work to be done. It's to look at your feeling function. How, you know, look at how comfortable are you with your feminine side? Are you okay feeling your feelings? Are you able to grieve? Are you able to express your anger and channel it in a healthy and appropriate way? Or do you need to numb out or shut down or get busy or all those things that we do to avoid feelings? If you will do this work, if you'll hang in there with me and do this work, I promise you that your relationships with women will begin to change. I've been witnessing it for years with my male clients, and I mainly work with women, but from time to time, I will work with a man if he's really committed to his inner work. But if you will do this work, you will begin to have more authentic, more healthy connections with women. And the same thing goes with women working on their animus. You can't help but begin to elevate and improve the quality of your connections with all of your relationships. All of your relationships. It's not just some special intimate relate, but all of them will get to a higher level of connection. You know, things are more real, more meaningful, more out there, more clear. You can process things more easily. You know, it's not like sometimes I see with couples, they have these issues come up and they can't resolve them. They're just hitting their heads up against a brick wall. There's never any resolution, or often not very much resolution. And so those unresolved conflicts just build and they build, and then they create these walls around us that shut us down. And that's when we're in hell. That's when the relationship, you know, it really needs to be brought back to life. And through the work of the anima and the animus and engaging the heart, being conscious of the soul and what the soul wants us to do, and it all comes to you through dream time. Once we start doing that work, there's sometimes we can heal and reverse the condition of the relationship, right? But we have to be willing to do and to pay attention. And this honestly can be quite a fun journey. It's not nearly as hard as looking at the shadow, which is a whole nother topic, which I'll get into at some other point. But for now, In the next video, we're going to stick with the divine marriage, the Anima and the Animus. If you want to send me a comment, either post it down below or send me an email through my website. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Thank you and enjoy and namaste.